Hello and welcome guys, how are you doing? Today I decided to take a quick look at the new decks that are coming out in the new Demon Slayer set. Now the Demon Slayer set is gonna release on 20th of January I think. And there's like three colors, there's purple, yellow and red. And the yellow cards also receive a structure deck, not like the Code Geass set. So today, as you can see, I will be taking a look at the purple deck. To be more precise, it will be the Daki and Gyutaro deck, as you can see here. And I think besides the Daki and the Gyutaro, you can also run the Muzan ST purple deck. So let's get right into it. First of all, here in the middle you can see the core of the deck, which is the Gyutaro cards and the Daki cards, together with the specific event cards that go together with this deck. I already put multiple copies of each card here, and the total number of the cards displayed will be 44, so you have like 6 cards that you can add to the deck to make it like a little better. However, you don't need to add like the exact same amount of copies that I added to the deck. So let's start by looking at the cards. We start with the Gyutaro line. The first is the 0 cost Gyutaro. He's just a 0 cost with an active main ability, pay 1 action point once per turn, and you can draw a card. It's pretty standard and has a pretty good effect if you want to do an additional action point draw or something. Or if you want to do the action point draw after you do something in your turn. I run a total of 4 of him in the deck because you always need the 0 cost cards. Next we also have 4 of the 3 cost Gyutaro double energy generation. He has a Ventblade ability. If Daki is on your field, draw a card and place 1 card into your sideline, so he kinda can recycle your hand a little bit. The double energy generation is also important because besides him I think there's no other double energy generation in this deck. However, you don't really need more double energy generation except if you run some of the additional cards which I talk about later. Then we also have 4 of the Raid Gyutaro. He's a normal rare card, so he's probably easy to get. He's a raid character as mentioned on Gyutaro, and once per turn when this character attacks and wins a battle, switch it to active. So when this character attacks the life points and your opponent decides to block, and the opponent is weaker or same battle points like him, then you can switch him back to active. In most situations it will just be that this one will get a free hit in, because you don't want him to attack twice, so you just let his attack go through. This means that you should usually keep his attack up for the last attack on the field. And his when attacking ability is simple too. If Daki is on your field, draw a card. So if you switch him back to active, if it's once per turn, you can draw 2 cards if Daki is on your field. Last one is a normal Gyutaro, 2 action points cost character. He is also a color trigger, 1 energy generation, 4 energy requirement. Ventblade, if he's on the front line, choose up to 1 character with 3000 or less battle points on your opponent's front line and sideline it. Now this ability is pretty okay, but usually you want to KO a 4K. And there's not a lot of cards. I think there's only 1 card that can minus something in the purple set. So his Ventblade ability is just okay. And then his when sideline ability, so when he is getting KO'd, he can look at the top 3 cards of your deck and reveal up to 1 Daki card and add it to your hand. I run a total of only 2 of him because he's not that good and has a high cost of 2 action points. But I will talk a little bit about him later. Okay, let's take a look at the Daki line. So the Daki line starts off with a 0 cost to Warabihime. However, this card has in his info box, this character is also treated as Daki. So I'm not sure if you can add it from the sideline to your hand, but it should be. Next we have the we have a total of 4 of her in the deck, because you should have around 10 0 cost in your deck. Next we have the 1 cost Daki. When sideline, she's a searcher for the top 6 card of your deck. Reveal up to 1 Gyutaro and add it to your hand. So a lot of these cards revolve around searching for another. It is pretty accurate to the anime. I also run 4 of her in the deck because she's just a 1 cost that you can play early on. But you can change how many you play of her. It's totally up to you. Okay, next I have also 4 of the double action point Daki. She has a Ventblade and then sideline ability. Play 1 Gyutaro card with a 3 cost from your sideline set to active on your front line. Now I have 4 of her in the deck, although you could reduce it to 2 because she's also a double action point character. However, her Ventblade or sideline ability is slightly better than the one of the Gyutaro. And then lastly we have the Daki raid. She can raid on any Daki and she can raid on the Vara Bihime. She has 3500 battle points, 3 energy generations, so you can raid her early. And her abilities are doing your turn if Gyutaro is in your field, this character gains 500 battle points, so she's the 4k in your turn. And when she's sidelined, she can basically revive herself if you have a Gyutaro in your field. Switch to resting on the front line too. Alright, these are all the characters in the core deck, so let's take a look at the event cards. First we have 2 of the Kyoko House, which is just a side card. Switch to resting, sideline this card, add up to 1 Gyutaro or Daki card from my sideline back to the hand, so you can recover the raid characters. It's also 1 energy generation, which is not bad. Then we have 4 of the search spell. Again, you can only run 2 of them because the cards kind of search for each other. It's a 2 energy cost and you can look for both Daki and Gyutaro from the top 7 cards of your deck, which is pretty strong. Then we have the special trigger, the Flying Bloodsickles. It's just a general 5k KO if you have Gyutaro on the field, otherwise KO 3k. And lastly we have the final trigger, the Musan Blood. Choose 2 of your action points and switch it back to active. So again, this is the core deck. You can change the characters a little bit. The total amount of cards again is 44. So I'm gonna tell you what you can do with the remaining 6 cards. First, let's start by talking about additional 0 costs that you can add to the deck. First you have the Musan as a young boy. Basically he just can generate another energy, so he can be a double energy generation if you sideline at the end of the turn. Then we have the Suzumaru. She's also 0 cost with Nullify Impact, pretty standard. And lastly we have the Tioni. He has some abilities. When he's sidelined you can choose a character from your field and move to another line, or you can switch 2 characters out. All of these available options, I would add only like 2 or maximum 4 of these to the deck, because 10 is usually enough 0 cost in your deck. And you also have the 1 cost Daki that can help you out. Next, you have some cards that you can run along with them that are kind of helpful. Lastly, we have the Akasa line, which is pretty standard. He's a high energy character, so you need some more double energy generation. Maybe get the Musan as a boy, the 0 cost in your deck. And he's a standard character, impact 1, 4000 battle points. He's not a raid character, so you can just hit for like impact or something together with the Gyutaro. You can get some damage in early. Then you have the big Akasa, 6 energy generation, so you need more energy on your field and 2 action point cost. However, you can play this character as active to your field, and when he's played, you can give him impact and snipe until the end of the turn if you place 2 cards from your hand into the sideline. Now both of these characters go really good with the Demon Power, which is a simple event card. Choose one character on your field, it gains 1000 battle points at the end of the turn, and you can add an additional 1000 battle points for each sideline character. However, that is not important. What is important is if the chosen character has 5000 battle points, it gains impact +1 until the end of the turn. So this card, together with this Akasa, means that you can snipe a body and you can deal double damage to the snipe. Otherwise, you can give him impact +2, or impact 2, which means that he will do double damage if he wins a fight. So this Akasa is a pretty good option to add to the deck. Otherwise, if you want to revolve more around the Gyutaro and KO like a 3k more often with him, you can decide to add the Rui on the deck, which has a Windblade ability. If a character has been sidelined this turn, choose up to 1 character on your opponent's front line, it loses 1500 battle points at the end of the turn. As mentioned, he is the only character that can minus the battle points in the purple set, and his ability has like a condition, which is a character needs to be sidelined, which is kind of difficult to fulfill with this deck. However, there is where the Purge comes in, which is an event card. Sideline one of your character, 1 action point cost, and if you do, choose up to 1 action point, switch it back to active and draw 2 cards. So you can sideline like a character, a weak character with this card, switch your action point back to active, so you have 3 again, draw 2 cards, then play the Rui to give someone minus 1500 battle points until the end of the turn. Then you can play the Gyutaro, when played ability on the front line. If that character has 4000 battle points, you can KO him now, and you can KO up to a character with 4500 battle points. Now I think this combo is a little bit safer because you usually only need 2 cards. However, both of these combos can add something to the deck, and the Rui is also like a double energy generation. And this helps you to recycle cards. You can sideline one Daki, and if she's sidelined, when sideline ability activates, and she can revive herself. Or you can play in Gyutaro, set to active on your field. So there's like a lot of options for this combo as well. So this concludes the quick overview of the new Daki and Gyutaro deck from the purple set. I kinda like this deck, and I think it will be really cheap to build because this character is just a rare card, and you only have him as a super rare and her, and you kinda only need 4 of the super rare Daki and only 2 of the super rare Gyutaro. So this will be a really cheap deck to build, and it can be a lot of fun to play. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Check out my other videos on the channel. Leave a comment and tell me which deck you will build of the Demon Slayer deck, or if you're just gonna skip the Demon Slayer set altogether. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you next time.